Good day, guys. It's Danny Smith from 30 Kennels. I've finally returned with another video. Excuse my hiatus. I've been stuck, a bit of creator's block. I've been stuck on the direction I want my content to go into, and I've been battling with this for about the past month. So, excuse me. I haven't completely decided which overall direction I'm headed in, but I've decided to just make it a journey. Recently, guys, I did a great collaboration with another YouTuber and a good friend of mine, Lukai and Bulls TV. We had a long, in-depth conversation about this breed we love, and this sparked my idea for today's video: the American Bully Hall of Fame, where the greats go to be appreciated and celebrated and respected. We don't, as of this moment, have an American Bully Hall of Fame, but I think a direction and a step needs to be done. Take away the common opinion, and let's objectively evaluate criteria for dogs to be able to have their names etched forever into the community of the American Bully. I'm going to pose my idea as how this would take place and my first list of nominees as well, so stay tuned for that at the end. Okay, guys, now let's dive further. Keep in mind, this is just my opinion, but this conversation I hope can put something moving forward into action, so hopefully the end result will be an actual Hall of Fame. Let's go over the criteria, guys. This is so broad and very difficult to narrow down, okay? Now, in order to enter the American Bully Hall of Fame, you would need to have a career of some type, be that a show career or a breeding career, or even weight pull, so to speak, because we have bullies competing in this sport. But we'll talk about that in another video, in and of itself. Okay. So it goes without saying, outstanding achievements would put you in the Hall of Fame, but let's put a quantitative figure to this. Okay, so you have a show career. These would be some things you need to qualify. Okay. You would have had to be in at least top 3 in your show career with at least 30 best in breeds overall. So you would have had to be in top 10 in the top 3 in your entire show career. Very difficult, I know, but that's just the minimum requirements. Okay. That just gets you a seat at the table. That would make you a second ballot hauler. For the show career, the cream of the crop, the creme de la creme would be a nationals title winner. And if you've achieved this in multiple registries, you're an automatic first ballot Hall of Fame. Okay, that's how that would go. I think that's fair. Next, which is more difficult, would be the breeding career. And in order to get into the Hall of Fame, the breeding career, I think that should be a formula of general choosing. But for my video, guys, we can use my formula, and I'll give it to you. Firstly, you need to have at least 300 offspring of quality. Firstly. Secondly, your consistency ratio has to be 1 to 2, meaning for every 2 puppies you produce, at least 1 has to have a consistent look in the litter to you as the producer. Yes, that's tough as hell, but this is the Hall of Fame, guys, not the Hall of Fame. Thirdly, the toughest thing is the producer's ratio of productions must be a minimum of at least 35% champion and 20% grand champion produced in all litters of the 300 number. So I'm sure you guys can do the maths and understand. Now, in order to enter the Hall of Fame with a breeding career, it is much more difficult than a show career. It means you have the need to have at least 1 grand champion every 4 litters to even make the hall based on your breeding career. Yeah, tough. But the reason for this is because this encourages breeders to, if you want to be recognized worldwide and have your name go down in history, no opinion, just based on strictly what you've done, you need to have tangible proof of what your dog has done. And I believe that my requirements are reasonable. Now, of course, because the requirements are so difficult, the reason for this would be is because I believe that breeding is what makes the breed what it is. If you don't breed right, You won't have these quality dogs to be able to have a show career. Okay, this promotes proper breeding practices and having pride in producing the highest quality dogs possible, thus ensuring the survival of this wonderful breed and increasing the overall quality from top to bottom in the breed. Now, lastly, there is one more requirement that you can use to enter the hall. But I'm going to say this from jump. This is specifically for the old school dogs that didn't have a show because one wasn't made yet, or didn't even have a place to call home because there was no registry as yet. But these dogs are or were the foundation of this breed as we know it and shaped the breeds that has once stood. This category would be considered as impact, things such as conformation, temperament, overall look as to what the breed is now will not be considered because these dogs were the prototypes and the reason we have better dogs today. So I won't punish these dogs for these things, and that's going to be a category within of itself. Now, with that being said, there's clearly a difference in impact, guys. So how big your impact was would dictate what ballot you are. So the second ballot would have much less impact than the first ballot Hall of Famer. Example would be Purple Rose. He was considered as the vision, the face of what the American Bully should be. So his impact alone, he's the first ballot Hall of Famer automatically. He's been felt throughout the entire community. So in essence, anything from 05 and up will be considered for impact, in my opinion, for first ballot. Now that's my idea, guys. It's a rough thought. Tell me what you think about it, if you agree, if you disagree. Now, with that being said, I want to give you my first ballot only, first ballot nominees for all categories. Tell me what you think and give me yours. Oh, lastly, guys, before we go into that, I didn't mention, but a dog and owner, if one owner will be able to enter the Hall of Fame along with this dog. I'll give an example. If an owner has a dog, say China Rush, this is a dog I'm making up, and he's produced 3 generations with China Rush, and he's been successful with all iterations and created an impact, created a bloodline, has absolutely done wonderful work. He himself can be into the Hall of Fame along with his dog who would have originated everything. I think someone who's actually done that, you'll see, because there's a list for owners as well. Okay. Now, I will have to state this, and this is important. You don't get in off anything else other than your dog that you've made. So, like China Rush was made using a Lucky Luciano daughter and an Axel son. And you make that your own bloodline, and you call it the Rush bloodline. That's it. That's the only thing you can get in off. You can't just go and buy a hot popping dog and try to breed it. No, you have to. It has to be your blood strictly. You can have out crosses, but you can't then no longer deal with the Rush bloodline and just buy some other new stuff and try to enter. No, it's not going to work like that. It has to be with what you yourself has created, so to speak. Okay, and it has to be 3 generations. All right, guys. So, on to my first list of nominees, first ballot for all categories listed above. For show career, we have Denzel, Bistro, Sweet and Low, Samurai Paco, Holly B, King Kamali, The Bear, The Bus, Rick Ross, Shifu, Hen Hef, and lastly, Rockstar. Okay, now we're going to move into the breeding category, which is pretty short, and I'm probably going to get flack on this, but this is my list that I have. So there's Dax, Waffle House, Bistro, Homie, Denzel, Lucky Luciano, and Short Shot. Now, there are some dogs that I'm still doing the numbers for, so it's kind of the reason that the list itself is so short, but I stand by it, guys. Lastly would be Impact, and that would be Remy Martin, Juan Gotti, Dax, Cairo, of course, Lil Ro, Paco, Nemesis, Thing, Throwing Knuckles, Crackerjack, Blackjack 21, Black Ace, Mahogany Menace, Smokey, Camacho, Waffle House, Sugar Daddy. It's a long list, but I'll stop there. Okay. Now, for Owens would make it into the American Bully Hall of Fame, it goes as follows, guys: Robert Lee for Bully Markets, Marco Suarez for Suarez Bulls, Donald Holm for Bobo Kennels, Sean Galmore for True Tank, Joel Quincy for D-Line, and Tone Roden for Duval Bullies, and lastly Carlton Pratt for Raptors Pits. That's how it's looking, guys. Those are my nominees. Tell me what you think about the video. If you like it, comment. Let me know what you think. You guys have a wonderful day. Appreciate you for tuning in, guys. Until next time.